Time for your Wisconsin Sports Radio Network weather forecast for the beautiful city of Milwaukee right now. 47 degrees, light rain, and of course, rain. It looks like up until 7 o'clock. This weather forecast is brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again as we broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See Sparky Fifer here. Charlie Usen over there. Welcome to all of our new affiliates here on the network. Green Bay, Appleton area, WNFL, 99.7 FM there. How about 93.9 The Game in Wausau? Duluth Superior, 710 The Game. And in Milwaukee, of course, The Fan, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan in Milwaukee. Again, Jeff Levering tomorrow morning. Want to hear from him, Brewers play-by-play guy on Insight Wisconsin Sports with Josh and Trevor tomorrow morning at 7:30. Again, tomorrow morning, 7:30, Jeff Levering on that show. 9 to noon tomorrow, Jim Ozarski, Bucks beat writer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He'll join those guys tomorrow at 11:25 tomorrow on 9 to noon. So make sure to check those guys out. And again, every day, 6 a.m., we start going local here, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Then it's 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. Then it's the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, brought to you by Verizon. Then this show that you're listening to right now, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. And then 5 to 6, Wisconsin Sports wrap-up show with Tommy Wirtz, which is always highly entertaining on a day-to-day basis. So 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., just keep your radio dial locked in. You'll get some cool sports talk radio, talking about your local favorite teams all throughout the day.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Fifer.
All right, so I want to get to this Rex Ryan clip. Now, we should all understand a couple of different things here before I play this clip. The first thing that we should know is sometimes, for whatever the reason, when you dig in on somebody and you have an opinion, there are some people, like me, that never want to ever change their opinion. Even if proven wrong, they're going to stick to what their guns say and don't want to change their opinion one way or the other. One of those guys is Rami Makloff on that 9 to noon show. Rami Makloff has had both feet dug in, refusing to move on his Josh Allen take of being, I don't know if he calls him overrated or whatever the case may be, but
dude won an MVP. He knows that, right?
It doesn't matter. He has been like one of the most anti-Josh Allen guys ever.
He's just mad that the Bears didn't draft him. That's really what it is.
I'm just telling you, like he just has not been there on that Josh Allen character for quite some time, which is fine. So now we have Rex Ryan. Now, Rex Ryan is a cat that is a former, obviously, NFL head coach, which is fine. A guy that has been on TV, a guy who on TV is very opinionated and has lots to say one way or the other, which again is fine. I cannot find the Rex Ryan rant, and clearly I am possibly looking
the
in the
WSD
wrong
folder.
Yeah, no, I was looking in the wrong day sound
okay.
folder. Don't mind me. I was talking through it on the air to myself where I was doing wrong. There it is. So Rex Ryan, opinionated, former NFL head coach, says a lot of stuff that, if it was an article you would consider clickbait and so forth. This is Rex Ryan talking about Jordan Love on Get Up on ESPN.
Jordan Love, man, I got no love for Jordan Love, and I've never have. And why? Yes, he's got unbelievable ability, and we'll see some amazing plays from him. But at the end of the day, do I trust Jordan Love? No, I don't, because I think he's going to take – and he doesn't do it. Statistically, he says, oh, no, he doesn't turn the ball over. Oh, yes, he does. The biggest moments, he'll turn it over.
Okay. So Rex doesn't like Jordan Love. He doesn't trust Jordan Love in the big moments. To me, it's one thing when a national guy says it. I think it's another thing when the fans agree with the national guy or the local sports talk people or the local beat writers or whatever. When they start agreeing with the national guy, then there's more to it. So I just want to see who agrees with Rex Ryan. Who's on board? Do you trust Jordan Love in a big moment at the end of a game? Do you trust Jordan Love to make the play or make that drive at the end, in the end of game scenario? Do you trust Jordan Love to get the job done? All I want to know. I want to know if he's Looney Tunes or whether or not there are some of you that agree with him, in which case validates what he says. If those of you that watch every single game don't trust Jordan Love, then maybe he's not Looney Tunes after all. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Also communicate with us on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at WI Sports Radio. Check us out live streaming on YouTube as well at WI Sports Radio. Do you trust Jordan Love in big situations? End of game situations. Down 4, need 7, minute 40 to go. Do you trust Jordan Love's going to get the job done in that moment in time? Do you trust Jordan Love? My answer is yes, sir. Yeah, I do. I trust Jordan Love. I don't find myself watching Jordan Love and doing the, oh my God, please don't throw an interception. Please don't throw an interception. Please don't throw an interception. I don't find myself doing that. I don't find myself going, please don't throw across your body. Please don't throw across your body. Please don't throw across your body. I don't do that. I did all of that with Brett Favre on a week-to-week basis. But I've not found myself doing that for Jordan Love. The throw across your body thing that happened against San Francisco his first year as a starter was a random thing that you had not seen that entire season. And to be quite honest with you, we really haven't seen it a ton from Jordan Love in general. Brett did it constantly. Throwing dumb passes consistently, game in and game out, is something that we saw from Brett Favre consistently for most of his career. Were there a couple of years where it didn't happen? Yeah. His last year with McCarthy, where McCarthy made him study film and everything else, it didn't happen. When he was like Super Brett in Minnesota for the Vikings, it didn't happen as much. But what happened at the end of the day? He threw a pick right to the opposing defender in New Orleans. That famous call from Paul Allen of the Vikings play-by-play guy. So you've seen all of that. Now, having said that, is he free of turnovers like Aaron Rodgers was? No, he's not. He's going to turn over the ball more than Aaron. Aaron had 2 interceptions, by the way, if you weren't paying attention for the Steelers this last week. 2, same game. So he also isn't maybe as prone to being free of picks, maybe like he was a lot of his time here. But he's not going to be that guy. But if I give Jordan Love the ball, minute 45 to go with a chance to win the game, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I don't get too concerned about him not coming through and not doing something at the end of the day. Could a receiver drop the ball? Absolutely. A receiver could drop the ball. Yes. Could the offensive line maybe not protect and he gets absolutely destroyed on a play? Yep, that absolutely could happen. But as far as him costing the team a victory in the last minute and a half or so of a game, I don't worry about that, man. I don't. I feel fine with Jordan Love back there. I trust Jordan Love to go win this thing at the end. I do. Rex Ryan down. What say you? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 677-1250. Let's see, where are we going first? Let's go to John in Hartford. You're first on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, John?
Hey, Sparky, how's it going?
Good.
So I think you know where I stand on this. And it goes back to his first year as a starter against the 49ers. I don't trust him. He makes too many dumb plays when the pressure's on.
Like what?
And yes, Brett Favre.
Outside of the Niner game, what else?
I think the fumble at the end of the half this year against Dallas was on him as much as it was anybody else. And I think he threw a costly pick against Cleveland too, didn't he?
How many points did they score in that Dallas game?
40.
And you're going to put it on the quarterback of why they lost the game?
I mean, it's part of the reason why they lost
points?
the game.
No, come on, John. You can't. I understand the fumble. I'm not disagreeing with you on the fumble. But when the offense scores 40 points, you can't then turn around and go, well, we lost because of the quarterback. I mean, you lost because your defense sucked. That's why you lost that game.
I agree. But, again, you mentioned Brett Favre turning the ball over. You could win a shootout with Brett Favre, and I don't think you can with Jordan Love.
Okay, well, that's a completely different topic. We can do that another day. Thanks for the call. We can have that conversation, right? Shootout scenario. How much confidence do you have Jordan Love to outscore another team? That's a different topic completely. I'm not asking that, but it's a good question, right? Do you trust Brett or Jordan or Aaron? That's a different conversation. But I'm fine having it one of these days. We can definitely have it. Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Do you trust Jordan Love? Rex Ryan clearly does not. I do. What say you? CB, downtown Milwaukee. You're next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up?
What's going on, man? And yes, I do trust him. You kind of showed me on that 4th and 2, that pass to Tucker Kraft. So at the end of the day, I do trust him. Do we trust Rex Ryan to coach a full season? No, we do not, because he's a bozo.
Yes, he is. He is a bozo. But he did have success, you have to remember, with Mark Sanchez, who just got in some trouble, with the New York Jets. He was in back-to-back AFC championship games. They couldn't beat the Patriots.
And he's garbage. Sanchez always been garbage.
But he won with them. But he won with him.
What was their record? 10-7 or something like that? It wasn't spectacular or anything like that.
It was back-to-back AFC championship games. That much I remember. I'd have to go back and look at record.
I'll take the Dolphins coach over him at this point.
Oh, what are you talking? No.
Yes,
McDonald. No.
I sure will. All he got is defense, and his defense ain't never been all that great either.
Okay, thanks for the call, CB. Hold on a second. I'm going to go find this right now. 1 second. Okay, so Rex Ryan as a coach for the Jets, he was 9-7, 11-5, 8-8, 6-10, 8-8, 4-12, 8-8, 7-8. Those last 2 years, 8-8, 7-8, were in Buffalo. He was with the Jets for, let's see here, 6 years with the Jets. Those first 2 years were his 2 best years when they made that run into the playoffs. And then after that, it went downhill from there. So that was Rex Ryan. The coach for the Dolphins, first of all, I'm not quite sure what to make of that dude's personality to begin with.
McDaniels.
Yes, McDaniels. I call him McDonald. McDaniels, I don't know what to make of that dude's personality. It's always seemed a little off to me to begin with. Secondly, his thing is offense. That's his thing. And they gave him a contract, and they took care of Tua at the same time, and it has not worked out. That dude will get a job. He'll get to be an offensive coordinator in the league, but I don't think he's going to survive to next year as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Would be really, really shocked if that were to happen. Let's go to Trav and Brown Deer. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. Do you trust Jordan Love in big moments?
Yes, I do. And like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, that's apple and oranges. He's right in the middle. And I do trust him. Just overthrows, and too critical, just missed, he just sailed it, it's, good time management. I'd take him,
So, you trust Jordan Love?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for the call, Trav. I appreciate it. Talking text line is blowing up on the text side as well. Andrew in Hadley from the 715, he texts in, of course I trust him. He just had a game-winning drive against the Cardinals. Granted, it started at the 50, but that fourth down throw was spot on. That throw was spot on. Can't even argue about that throw with Tucker Kraft. That was a great throw, Charlie.
It was. And it was nice to see Jordan Love again in a moment like that where he needed to take the game into his own hands. He did it, and he made a play with somebody he trusted. Again, this is something where I've talked about Matt LaFleur kind of ceding a little bit of that pressure to Jordan Love and allow him to carry some of that. And that was a moment where you saw him carry some of that. So, yeah, there's moments where he can do that. It's just he's not doing that all the time right now, which is a little bit of a concern.
Ben in Wausau from the 715. Do I trust Jordan Love in end-of-game situations? Last week, yes. I think he's improving. The Browns game, that was a step back. But even the best quarterbacks have that happen. When he's in rhythm, he's amazing. Under pressure, he makes me nervous. I'll get down with you on that. I'll agree with you on that. I think he is much better in a cleaner pocket than he is when there are guys running at him and he has to make something happen prior to him getting hit. Can he do it? Yes. Has he done it? Yes. Sometimes you hope he doesn't try to force something at the end and try to improvise something that maybe is not there. Yes. But when the drive starts and we get going, do I trust him? Yeah. I trust him that he's gonna get this thing, the job done, and get the ball down the field at the end of the day. Charlie in West Allis, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Charlie?
How you doing?
Good.
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'll take Jordan at the end of the games and trust him to do what he needs to do. I mean, everybody goes back to the Cleveland game. Well, remember, he did drive down the field, and to win the game, we just got our field goal blocked. So he did drive down the field.
The other thing too about Jordan Love is he doesn't have that guy necessarily to this point where he's that guy you can go to in big situations, right? Stafford had
Exactly.
3 touchdowns to Devontae Adams inside of 2 yards for the Rams this last weekend. When Aaron Rodgers was here, he had Jordy Nelson. He had Devontae Adams. He had guys he trusted to make those throws to in those big situations and could feed time and time again. And really, maybe Romeo Doubs is that guy, but consistently, week in and week out, getting that guy that you can feed has not been a thing for Jordan, so it's having to be spread around.
Yes, I like that. Yes, definitely. I like that. I like your way of thinking. But nobody else thinks that way. It's just kind of like they want to compare him to other quarterbacks. This is what he's doing now. He's got, 6 or 7 comeback games?
Yeah.
How many does he have comeback?
I think he's at 7, I think. I think it's 7. Yeah.
Nobody even thinks about that. They think about what happened during that game or whatever. But think about what he's got now. Yeah, 6 or 7 comeback games. I like him.
All right. Thanks for the call, Charlie. I appreciate it. Got some more text messages coming in as well. Let's see here. This one is from Nick in Tosa. I trust him, and at this stage is probably equivalent to how much I trusted Aaron in his last few years here. Also curious what Rex is basing this on. Not like Jordan has a track record of critical late turnovers. Nick in Tosa. Nick, didn't like him coming out of college, I don't believe. And I don't believe he has ever been on the Jordan Love train from the time he took a snap in preseason. He wasn't on the train of letting Aaron Rodgers go to let Jordan Love be the starter. And he definitely wasn't a Jordan Love fan to start his first half of the year when that offense was playing bad. It was, I told you it wasn't going to be that good. I told you it wasn't going to be that good. And now that he has gotten pretty good at this point, he wasn't a fan of that contract signing either. I'll give Rex Ryan this. He's been consistently against Jordan Love, Charlie, from the start.
He has. I mean, like you said, you have to give him a little bit of credit for that. But at the same time, Rex Ryan, you're supposed to be a guy who knows football. You're on one of the biggest media outlets to cover sports talking about this type of stuff. And I know they don't always look at the integrity of what these people are saying on air. Sometimes they like when they're not the most integral people on air. At the same time, I feel like you should know what you're talking about. And what we've seen from Jordan Love is him taking steps throughout this season, throughout last season. You have to give him the credit for that when the credit is due.
Bayview Brad in the 715 says, I trust Love. I do not trust LaFleur. A lot of people going after Matt LaFleur and play calling. A lot of that going up. We could dive into that another day as well. 414 says, don't trust Love at all, doesn't handle pressure well at all, and always takes unnecessary sacks. Wish he would throw the ball away more. I'll tell you one thing, 414, that I really appreciate from Jordan Love this year, and that is his ability to use his legs more than he has for the last 2 years. He is running upfield and taking the extra 5 yards, 7 yards. Now, almost got decapitated this last weekend and then slid the next time, and good thing because he would have got his head taken off his shoulders the next time, and he slid that time. But that's the one thing that has changed, in my opinion, with Jordan Love, which is, hey, man, before he was a statue in the pocket. He didn't want to run upfield. Now, last year you could say, well, he was hurt. He was never 100%. I agree with you. The previous year, maybe the coaching staff wasn't wanting him to get out there and use his legs, wanting him to go through his progressions, make his reads, and we're teaching him as far as how they want him to play quarterback. And now he's got more comfort in the idea of running upfield. I think it was a really, really smart play for sure. We're going to Rob in Alabama. You're up next here on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. What's up, Rob?
I am not in Alabama.
Where are you at, Rob?
I'm in beautiful downtown Palmer, Alaska.
Ooh, Alaska. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. That's totally my fault. So how are you doing, Rob?
Oh, living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
All right. So what do you got? What do you think? Do you trust Jordan Love?
I trust Jordan Love, but I don't trust Rex Ryan with my wife's shoes. Let's just, keep it that way.
That's a good one. You called in up from Alaska to drop a shoe joke on Rob Ryan. Rex Ryan, I can respect that. Rob, I appreciate it. Take care. There he is. Rob in Alaska. I've done this show I've been doing shows for like 20 years. I don't think I've ever had a call from Alaska prior to that, Charlie.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. When he called in, I was like, that's pretty crazy. Listening from Alaska.
Crunchy Kevin Holden, who used to be the sports director at CBS 58 in Milwaukee, now he works in North Carolina. Him and his wife took a trip to Alaska a couple of years ago, and it was during that time where it's sunlight out 24 hours a day. And I remember him being at I think it was a minor league baseball game or something like that, Charlie, or some type of baseball game. It was like midnight. Sun is out, and they're out there watching a game in the middle of the night because the sun is out. That's some crazy stuff.
Awesome.
That's some crazy stuff.
I love that.
Yes.
Have you seen the one high school football field that's literally on the ocean, basically, right in Alaska? They have it literally right. If the kicker misses a field goal or something, it's going straight in the water.
Really?
That's awesome. Yeah.
That does sound cool. I've never been to Alaska. I've always wanted to do an Alaskan cruise, but we've never done it.
My sister and her fiance did that, and that's where he proposed to her.
And they liked it?
Yeah, they loved it.
I've always heard the fall is the best time for the Alaskan cruises or whatever. So I don't know. One of these years, maybe we'll get to do it. Love me some Potawatomi, though. I'll tell you that much. Hey, you can win big this October at Potawatomi. Play the Bird Bash Game Show for $50,000 in cash. Just play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. Prize drawing on Thursdays. Plus, your play also earns you a shot at the $300,000 December season finale. It's a Bird Bash. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For more details, visit paysbig.com/birdbash. Again, paysbig.com/birdbash. Coming up next, we're going to go back to the Milwaukee Brewers. If you have been listening to the whole show, you know we've covered the gamut, right? We've talked Brewers, we've talked Badgers, we've talked Bucks, we've talked Packers. Back to the Brewers we go here, coming up next. And interesting thing from Kurt Hogue earlier today, that we're going to talk about. Because if you were the Brewers GM, what would be the first move you'd want to make this offseason? What's the first thing you're trying to get done this offseason once this World Series is complete? What are you trying to get accomplished? We'll discuss that next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie Usen, other side of the glass, producing today's show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks to our affiliates in Green Bay and Appleton, WNFL on 99.7 FM. In Wausau, 93.9 The Game. Duluth Superior, what up? WDSM 710 The Game. And, of course, in Milwaukee, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan. Okay, so we're going to talk more about the Brewers here. Again, don't forget Jeff Levering, 7:30 tomorrow morning with Trevor and Josh on Inside Wisconsin Sports here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Brewers play-by-play voice. Should be fun to hear Jeff Levering doing that show tomorrow morning at 7:30. Kurt Hogue was on Foul Territory, the TV show, and that's on different TV stations around the country. And they obviously have it on YouTube and so forth, and it's a great show. We've had on Ari J. Przinski from that show on here before, former White Sox catcher. Eric Kratz is on that show with AJ. He also is a former catcher for the Brewers. That's really good. Scott Braun is the lead host. He does play-by-play for MLB too. So it's just a really good show, fun show. They have a lot of fun. They're not as scared to give their opinions on different things and be honest about things. So highly suggest if you've never seen Foul Territory. Having said that, Kurt Hogue, Brewers beat writer from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, joined those guys on Foul Territory. I'm jealous. And they were talking about what the Brewers need to do coming up this offseason, which is the same thing I'm going to ask you. If you were the Brewers GM, what would be the first move you make this offseason? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Find us on the socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at WI Sports Radio. At WI Sports Radio. Here is Kurt Hogue on Foul Territory.
Milwaukee's a place that deserves a winner. It's a great baseball city. You know that. All you guys that have been here, you know that. They sold, I think, 20-something games out in the second half. The playoff atmospheres were incredible. It was, AJ, it was a good year because they won 97 games. And we've all been around baseball for a long time. We know that the playoffs can be fixed. Shouldn't probably just use a postseason performance to determine an entire season. And this year was a step forward for the Brewers. But no, you're absolutely right. You're kind of looking at them against the Dodgers in this series. And you're like, well, that's your competition. You can kind of squeeze as much out of the tube of toothpaste in the regular season. And Matt Arnold and his crew have done that time and time again. Pat Murphy, as a manager, he's done that in both his seasons as well. And it's like, okay, well, this is like best case. You win 97 games, you get the 1 seed, the best record in baseball, and then you get to the playoffs and it's like, oh man, the talent level disparity was really on display. No, the Brewers played 4 bad games, the Dodgers played 4 great games. That can happen at any point. Like I said, the Brewers did beat them 6 times this season, but when the chips were on the table and push came to shove, they just didn't have the guys to compete with the Dodgers. And maybe that's not the biggest knock in the world because it's the Dodgers. They have all the guys. But the Brewers do need to do something to up the top tier of their team and be in a situation where they can compete in that NLCS if they have to face the Dodgers again.
So Kurt Hogue says you got to improve the top part of this lineup. That's pretty much what he's saying, right? I mean, he said roster, but I think what he means is lineup. Get a thumper, a true stud bat to put at the top half of this lineup to make it more of a threat offensively when you have to go against essentially 4 Hall of Fame pitchers like you have in the Dodgers when you get to the postseason. Again, the fate of the Brewers and everybody else is much different if Glasnow is hurt and Snell is hurt. All of a sudden, the Brewers get that magic carpet ride or get that pixie dust, that euchre magic like the shirts we were giving away this year. And all of a sudden, they're in the World Series because they got a beat-up Dodgers team that didn't have the depth at pitching once they lost a couple of starters. But that's not how it went. They were healthy, and the Brewers paid the price for it. But if you were the Brewers GM, what would be the first move you make this offseason? Nicolay Law, talk to text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. I said this before, and our guy Tommy Wirtz, who's coming up next at 5 o'clock, the Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up Show, turns red, his eyes get crossed, he starts breathing fire out of his mouth, and steam comes out of his nose and out of his ears like he's a cartoon character.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
but I'd listen if somebody wanted Made. But if somebody wanted Jesus Made, who is your top prospect, who could be better than Churio, who is an infielder, shortstop, third base, second base, wherever they decide to play him. If somebody came at me with a superstar type player, offensive superstar, to put into this lineup, yes. Yeah, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. Now, the last time we talked about this, we talked about Ronald Acuna being that guy from Made or whatever. Well, whoever that is, if you can add a superstar player that's ready to go now, that you have team control on for, say, 3 years or something like that, and it costs you Made, then yeah, I would think about it. I would certainly think about it and consider it. Financially, that's where the issue lies. Because even if the Brewers and Matt Arnold say, yeah, okay, I'll give you Made, I'll give you Chad Patrick, I'll give you Frelick, right? And we put together a star-studded, young-studded package. We go all in to get the Brewers version of Micah Parsons for this lineup. That's what they're looking for, right? That's who you're going to get. There's still a big problem. You don't got the money. How are you going to pay them? Even if you traded Made and Patrick and Frelick and Terang and whoever you want to put in the package, you don't have the money to pay somebody $30 or $40 million a year to come here and play. So really, the only way that you're going to get a stud player at that level is to make a trade for a guy that's not at the big league level. To find a top prospect in another position that baseball thinks is can't miss, and you essentially give up 3 or 4 good players to essentially roll the dice and hope you get a star like Churio and a star like Made. If you can find a Made in another organization to put with Made, to put with Churio, by giving up a Terang or Frelick or one of those guys, then okay, that's how you get that meat and potato superstar player for your lineup. But I don't think you can get a veteran player because I don't think they can pay the money to the guy that's making that type of money. That's where I think the issue lies with what Kurt Hogue is talking about. I mean, it's a dream scenario for Kurt, and it's a dream scenario for all of us to get somebody like that. I just don't think financially they'll ever be able to make that work. What would be your first move you make this offseason? Nicolay Law, talk a text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio, streaming on YouTube. Find our shorts, our videos, live streaming the shows at WI Sports Radio on YouTube. Nate, north side of Milwaukee, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Nate?
What's up, Sparky? I'll be making 2 calls. One call will be to Sal Frelick. And basically telling him you're going to be my center fielder next year. I just feel like the switching that they did between Jackson Churio and Kendrick Perkins defense, and we can eliminate all of that. Just put a Gold Glove right fielder in center field, leave him there, and save your 2 corner spots for guys that you need to put in. I feel like when Perkins came back, that's what killed Isaac Collins' momentum, basically, because he wasn't getting constant playing time, and it just got him out of rhythm. And then when they tried to get him back into rhythm, he couldn't get back into rhythm. The second call I'll be making is to Cooper Pratt.
Oh,
let Cooper Pratt.
Yeah.
Or Cooper Pratt, letting him know, hey, you're going to be in the big league camp this year. You're competing for a spot, whether if we decide to put Terang at short and you compete for a second spot, or you're going to compete for the shortstop spot, because you need to get somebody at short or somebody. You can't have the bottom of your order being an automatic out.
Correct.
So you need to either, if that's going to help Joey Ortiz get his act together at the plate, by bringing in competition, bringing in a younger guy to compete for a spot, because it felt like Joey Ortiz kind of, not that he wasn't trying, but when you're comfortable, when you know that, okay, I'm the guy, my job is solidified. The work ethic is not as hard as if somebody tells you, Sparky, somebody's going to come in, we're going to bring somebody in, we're going to give them an opportunity to do 2 to 5, and whoever the rating is better, you're going to produce the best show you can to try to keep your spot.
Yep.
And that's what I feel Ortiz needs, to either see if he can do it or see if we have to move on.
All right, Nate, thanks for the call. Good stuff, as always, from Nate on the north side of Milwaukee. I'm just going to sit right in the same camp I've been in all season long and back to spring training. Turang should be the shortstop, plain and simple. Now, Durbin proved that he can be a great utility player, or if you want to attempt to move him to second base, to play second base if Turang is going to shortstop, I'm fine with that too. I think he'd be fine at second base. But that third base position, if Turang goes to short, that is where you have to make the adjustment. Now, the idea that Nate had of bringing up Cooper Pratt and playing him at shortstop, I don't know if the Brewers think he's ready yet. I would venture to guess no, right? That he's going to have to probably play a good amount of a season in Nashville before they consider that. I mean, offensively, Joey Ortiz can't play much worse, I don't think, next year, right? I mean, he is what he is offensively. He gives you spurts of a week or two where you feel good. He gets benched for a couple games. All of a sudden, he hits he hit over 300. What, he hit 325, something like that for a stretch of time. And then he came back to earth and was Joey Ortiz again. So defensively, like we talked about before, we thought he was great. And then you looked up his WAR and it was 0.6. And you're like, oh, well. Based on those numbers, he's not as good as we thought, because he definitely makes the highlight plays. He makes the very, very difficult plays at the end of the day. Let's go to Nick in Racine. You're next here on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's up, Nick?
Hey, Sparky. How's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Yeah, I guess I disagree with getting rid of Amade. I think he's a future, but we got to – I mean, unless it's like some NBA-type salary dump, we got to do something with Yelich. If that's trading Peralta and just adding in Yelich into there, he was absolutely horrible in the playoffs. He just looked lost. I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah.
Okay.
The first move I would make is get rid of Yelich.
I don't have a big issue with what you're saying. You're saying get rid of Yelich because of his bad postseason and so forth. He's a lot more movable now. Charlie and I went through and looked at salaries, right, Charlie, of what he's making next year, 25 million. And of the guys in his area, he outproduced pretty much all of them. So right now, when you say, I'm going to move Yelich, you could probably get more for Yelich. Well, I know you can get more for Yelich now than you could in the last 5 years combined, probably.
Then you need to do it, because
yes.
I don't know what happened to him in the playoffs, but he didn't even look like he knew what he was doing.
But this is the thing. He's been this way for his entire career in the playoffs. We went over his playoff numbers. He's like a 220 hitter in the playoffs in 5 postseason appearances. This is who he is in the playoffs. I don't know how to fix it. I'm sure if he knew how to fix it, he'd fix it too. Thanks for the call, Nick. The playoffs are a problem. No question. I don't know if that's the reason why you trade him. But if the reason you're trading him, as he put it, is to salary dump, to use the money somewhere else, to get a younger, better version of him at a different position, because the outfield, they're fairly deep in the outfield, right? He's a DH. We're going to go back to the Schwarber conversation, right? If he's gone and you move Peralta and you move Yelich, can you get old man Schwarber to be your DH for the middle of that lineup? And is that better than what you have now? I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation to have, because Yelich had a great year. The problem is, can he do that for another 3 or 4 years? Or is this the only year we're going to get, and we're going to go back to broken down Christian Yelich next year? That you don't know, and that's the roll of the dice that you have right now.
Well, and I think the other benefit is there's going to be teams that normally spend money that are going to be willing to take a shot on a player like Christian Yelich, because they're making big changes or things like that. Like the Angels just signed Kurt Suzuki to be their manager today. They're going to be looking for a lot of veteranship in that roster in order to give some kind of guys some kind of mentorship in that group.
What about the trader in Chicago? They lose Kyle Tucker. They lose Kyle Tucker. They're going to need a bat to replace Kyle Tucker in Chicago for sure. No question about that. Hey, for me, the only thing better than eating Wendy's is earning more Wendy's while I eat. Hello, Wendy's Rewards. The entire menu is up for grabs too. Whatever food you order directly through the Wendy's app, Wendy's website, or at a restaurant counts. For every $1 you spend, you'll earn 10 points. You can place your order for pickup or delivery with the Wendy's app or website. You're good. That's literally all you have to do. Mobile and website orders add reward points automatically. Done and done. It's the best and so easy too. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. People are on hold. People are texting. We'll get you guys all coming up next. John and Franklin leads us off. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. See Sparky Fifer here, Charlie Usen over there. Let's get to our guy, John in Franklin, next on the Nicolay Law Talking Text Line. What would be the first move you'd make if you were the Brewers this offseason, John?
I would change the Brewers owner.
Oh, Lord. We're not changing the Brewers owner. He's not selling the team. His kids are taking over the team. John, you know that's not happening.
Okay, a little tongue in cheek, but I'm trying to find some sort of silver lining to the anguish that was the end of the conclusion of this Brewers season after all the fantastic achievement.
Yep.
And as the series against the Dodgers was progressing game after game, it just I took this question that you're asking today, and I asked myself, what is the solution here? What are we going to do? And I'm sorry, Sparky. We're just going to do this, and it's going to change everything. We're going to get rid of Yelich. It's inexplicable, his lack of production in the postseason, when at times during the season he could carry the team by himself almost. I don't know what the answers are. I don't know how a market like Milwaukee is going to compete with a team that is basically all stars and number 1 and 2 starters on it. I'm not trying to whine, but I'm fascinated to hear people's ideas because I don't see an easy solution, Sparky.
All right, John, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Talking text line, Nicolay Law talking text line coming in from the 443 says, get Zach Nato. Zach Nato last year for the Angels hit 257, 319 on base, but he did have 26 homers, 62 RBIs on the year, 26 stolen bases. So it fits what they're looking for. Nato going into his first year of arbitration this year. That seems like a smart play by the Brewers if they were to go down that line to replace Ortiz.
He also just, again, though, plays the same position as everybody else. It would be nice to get
a corner, Ortiz.
Be a corner infielder, maybe, again, somewhere else where like some of these young guys have a more clear path to come up through.
Correct. It would definitely be replacing Ortiz for that pop. Hey, Prize Picks is the best way to win cash on the Packers this sports season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Whether it's football or basketball or hockey, you pick. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Now, check this out. You can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click. On Prize Picks, you also have the opportunity to play the flex play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. That's the way I go. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code Sparky, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer. Even if you've never played for $5, you get all this, you should do it. That's code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Quickly, you got 30 seconds. Matt in Madison. What's up, Matt?
No, I'm the one who sent the Zach Nato thing.
Oh, perfect. So I got your take on it. So you like the Nato. Yeah. Obviously, that's your idea. I'm down with it. I'd trade for Nato.
After Charlie said about the Angels maybe being the team that would take Yelich, then trade him 100%. Maybe even give them a prospect on top of it. I think would change a lot of things for the Brewers.
I like it. Nato and a top third base prospect, maybe. Nato and a pitching prospect. I don't know. I'd be all down for Zach Nato, though, if he replaces Joey Ortiz. I haven't looked at his defensive WAR to know how good he is defensively, but I'd take a shot at it. That'll do it. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Up next, Wisconsin Sports wrap-up with the big ol' hunk of love. Tommy Wirtz, straight ahead. Don't change that dial. Have a good one. Toodles.